I've always loved joystick shooters and still play Geometry Wars when I'm on my exercise bike to help distract me from the fact that my legs feel like they're about to fall off. Also, I used to put loads of hours into a game called Llamatron by Jeff Minter that you should definitely check out if you like the old joystick shooter. And of course, everyone knows about Robotron. But in this case, I'm going to jump into Robobliteration, which is a joystick shooter for the Oculus Rift DK2. And what's really noticeable about this, and one of the reasons why I wanted to make a video of it, is just how they've integrated a 2D, effectively a 2D game into a 3D environment. Now, even though the environment is largely sort of superfluous to what's actually going on in the gameplay, it does really just help draw you in. And because you're in a 3D space, then looking at a 2D space, it makes the 3D space that you're inhabiting seem somewhat more believable. It sounds a bit strange. It's a bit like when you play Half-Life 1 and you're on the train and you're like, okay, I feel like I'm kind of in a game on a train. And then when you get off the train, it makes the environment outside the train seem more realistic. I'm not sure why. It probably has a name. Be interesting to read into that. But nonetheless, that's kind of what I'm getting with this. A similar sort of vibe. Now, if I look to my right, there's a planet. Looks like a nice watery planet with meteorites coming to hit it. Probably going to kill all the inhabitants, but it doesn't matter because I'm some kind of leotard-wearing alien that just doesn't care. My spaceship's got a little bit of a gas leak going on. That's just how it operates. There's another planet over there. It's a bit like Mars, and more meteorites floating around in space. The cabin's really nice and detailed. Little bits of glowing screens. Feel like I'm in the future. Now, I'm playing this with a glowing Xbox 360 controller. Of course, it's a cheapo knockoff Xbox controller, and they always glow for some reason. I think that's because if something glows, it's obviously better, and that's why I bought it. Which isn't the case, but I fell for that anyway. So let's go. As I said, it's a joystick shooter, Robobliteration. Left stick to move around, right stick to aim and shoot, and let's see what happens. Now, it's really nice and clear. You can see all the interface is really, the fonts are really big, so you could probably even play this on a DK1 perfectly fine if it supports it. I'm not sure if it does. The particle effect zooming off as you shoot stuff into your face, which you kind of don't expect because the gameplay is on a sort of 2D plane, so it really catches you off guard when the particles zoom into you. Whoa! The character acceleration is crazy. Once it gets up to speed, it doesn't want to change direction. Now, I think Geometry Wars got the player movement speeds absolutely spot on, or near enough spot on for a joystick shooter. This is a little bit, I feel a little bit unresponsible and difficult to move around and be precise. But I'm gonna take it as it is and see how high our score can be. Woo! Oh, gonna have to concentrate. Okay, there we go. I got absolutely destroyed by these yellow guys. Oh, these particles come right in your face when you die. And that monster these look proper 3D. I still get the 3D really catches me off guard because it is so crisp. The 3D is so good with the Oculus Rift, far more superior than 3D on a 3D TV or a 3D cinema, because each eye is getting essentially its own view. It looks, there's no ghosting or anything like that, which really helps for gaming. Now, most of the play space is visible if you just stare straight ahead, which I think is sort of vital for this sort of game. The interface does get in the way a little bit, and you do have to look around a little bit. I think it might be better if it's a little bit more zoomed out. And I think if you were making this kind of arcade game, actually I guess you can lean forward as well, you really don't want to have the player moving their head around too much, because although it's like tempting, I think, oops, dead straight away, see, I couldn't see that. It's tempting to want to make the environment impact there, and sort of, you know, you're in virtual reality, but when you start putting an hour, 2 hours into a game, you really just want to play the gameplay. You don't want to feel like there's stuff in your face. So I think it is a real compromise of getting it so you get the advantages of the placement of the VR environment without the disadvantages of stuff sort of cluttering you. This isn't too bad. I think it's just the chair bit. If the chair maybe when you started playing, if the chair moved out of the way, and then you'd be able to see the full game space without anything blocking your left and right view, and that'd be absolutely perfect. But it's just a really, other than the chair blocking the size of the screen a little bit, it's a really good example of how to integrate a 2D game into a 3D space and have it be very playable and have the interface very comfortable. Like stuff like score that you don't have to see all the time, that's perfect to have at the side. And I think menu options and stuff, you can also benefit from having them at the side of the player. So you're playing the game, and if you stop or pause or want to change the setting, instead of having to browse through loads of menus, you can just look to your left. There could be a little holographic screen that you look at. But absolutely fantastic. Let's do another little round. The logo looks awesome in 3D, and also because of the, like I've said in other videos, the OLED panel of the DK2 gets you really rich colours and really good contrast between dark and light, and so the clouds on that planet look really vivid, and then the space outside of it is proper dark. It's just really nice. I'm not sure what I'm wearing. I seem to have a sort of female body. Maybe it's maybe I'm neither male or female. I'm just some kind of strange alien creature that's travelling through space playing dual stick shooters. That's what people do in the future. Let's go for one more life, and then I'm going to end this video. Pretty much said everything I want to say. Definitely this is free to download, so definitely check it out. I don't think the mechanics are the best joystick shooter mechanics, but this is still in development, and that's, you know, that's the kind of thing that can obviously be tweaked. And I think you could, you know, if you, the old thing with the arcade shooters would be you would have the same sort of gameplay on each level. There'd be different enemies, but then in Robotron and Llamatron, for example, the largest change in the stages would be the colour, the size of the screen would change colour. With the DK2, you can essentially do the same thing, only instead of it, you know, instead of the size of screen changing colour, at the end of each level, your spaceship can go to hyperspace, and the environment around you can change. And that's probably enough for an really arcade game to sort of keep a player engaged and sort of reward them graphically for completing each stage and to spur them on to the next stage. And I actually think with DK2 and with the Oculus Rift in general, a lot of these demos I've actually found really simplistic, focused arcade games to be really enjoyable, and it does like remind me a bit of playing the demo discs on the Atari ST, where you just pile in all the demos and you go through them all, and every now and again you find something that really sticks and really catches your eye. And it's been absolutely awesome with the DK2, essentially going through the same process again, but in 2014. I think it was about 1994, 95 or something, playing on the Atari ST, doing the same thing with floppy disks, not the internet, because we didn't have the internet. Although I think you could get a modem for the ST. Nonetheless, blathering on completely off topic, Robobliteration, download it for free straight away. I'll put a download link underneath the video. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe. Also, like us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook, because we've only got 44 likes. And when we get 100, I'm going to make a cake. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching this. Goodbye.